Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Army Sergeant Matt Cromer. An Army doctor discovers a new breakthrough that will finally answer some questions that service members may find a bit surprising. Army Sergeant Jared Dawn heads to the Brian Allgood Army Community Hospital for more.
Individuals with TSD typically don't awaken after their dream enactment behaviors or their disruptive nocturnal behaviors, and they might not even remember them at all. Their bed partner or spouse is typically the one who reports these disruptive nocturnal behaviors.
TSD, or traumatic sleep disorder, is strongly linked to service members with combat-related history.
It can actually cause harm not only to the individual with the disorder, but their bed partner or spouse. And so safe sleeping practices is a paramount focus of ours in terms of when we see someone with this. If you come in, it's like making sure you don't have weapons in your bedroom, making sure at times that you even sleep separately from your bed partner. We think that's very important because we don't want you to hurt them.
If you or someone you know is having sleep disturbances that have persisted for more than 3 months, please contact your local healthcare provider and get treatment. Army Sergeant Jared Dawn, Kunsan, Korea.
Colonel Myslevich is one of the Army's 26 sleep medicine specialists who evaluate tens of thousands of patients each year. With the Pacific Ocean separating the United States and Korea, it still can't keep these brothers and sisters in arms from running together. Specialist Simon Matizik keeps pace with one of the runners to give us more.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Area 1 soldiers took part in the Marine Corps Marathon Shadow Run, which is usually done in combat zones. But this is the first time anyone ran it in Korea. For one sergeant major, this event is about camaraderie.
The biggest thing I like to say is we're all one team in the military. It's a great thing for everyone, Army, Air Force, Marines, to do this. We can't be there since we're deployed over here, but it'll be motivation for other people and other places that they can do it.
Sergeant Major Friend may have been in the military for 31 years, but this is his first marathon, and he's not going to let the years slow him down. His tenacity is motivational for others.
It's really inspirational to see someone his age get out here and run. I probably would consider doing it next year.
One of his goals is to push himself to be the best he can be at all times.
I can barely walk, but I'm glad I made it. My feet are sore, but tomorrow I'm going to be running with my platoon. So just to show them that you can do it and continue on being the best you can.
Specialist Simon Matizik, Kunsan, Korea.
Sergeant Major Friend will continue to run as he also plans to end his career with one more marathon. Seeing past the body damage and finding a gem under the hood takes a trained eye. Katusa Corporal Cho Min-young meets a man on a mission.
Rafael Reyes started working as a counselor for disabled soldiers, students, and veterans after he became disabled during a mission while serving in the military.
It's not about the disability that we always try to educate. It's about the skill set that those individuals with disability have that we want to capture, and it's fantastic.
He is one of our champions and is passionate about the disability community, and it tells in his work, and you can tell it and you can see it.
Today, he's receiving an award for being able to bring and sponsor 8 students with disabilities to Korea.
So the reward for me is wonderful to be recognized, but the real reward for me, when we see a student that later on, they call us and tell us, Mr. Reyes, I got a job. Thank you for being my mentor. Thank you for getting me through this program.
Katusa Corporal Che Min-young, Yongsan, Korea.
Mr. Reyes has been working with the Computer Electronic Accommodations Program, or CAP, for the last 10 years. Camp Humphreys is undergoing an enormous transformation and is home to the busiest U.S. Army airfield in Asia. Army Sergeant Frank Sanchez tells us about one part of the installation's training facilities.
The transformation continues at Camp Humphreys, which also provides top-notch training for its aviation personnel and is home to a modern CH-47 Chinook flight simulator to primarily train on flying tactics in Korean environments.
It gives us the ability to set up training scenarios, work through emergency procedures, or basically fly any mission we could actually do in the actual aircraft without requiring outside coordination.
The new simulator comes with a bevy of benefits that range from cost-effective training to running scenarios that can't be done in an actual CH-47 helicopter.
Currently serving here at Camp Humphreys, there certainly is a lot changing. We're looking forward to the added facilities we're going to have here. Again, training opportunities, facilities like this with the simulator. It should be beneficial to everybody once the construction is complete.
American taxpayers can be happy to hear the average flight hour in a simulator costs around $430 compared to the almost $12,000 an hour it costs to operate an actual Chinook. Army Sergeant Frank Sanchez, Camp Humphreys, Korea.
Camp Humphreys is the center of the largest construction and transformation project in the U.S. Department of Defense's history. Overseas tours can lead troops to create obscure sources of morale. For Osan Air Base residents, one of their sources spreads morale via 2 small wheels and leather cutoffs. Senior Airman Adam Harder tells us what kickstarts morale.
Residents of Osan Air Base know that if you're brave enough to drive its streets, you abide by the rules of biker gangs, the likes of which have never been seen in Korea. But one gang at Osan came before all others. Innocent bystanders bear witness as one of the most righteous forms of freedom ever seen rumbles down the road with 49 cc's of fury, and they're known as the Kings of Cass. Their motive is simple.
Pretty much ride around and just spread freedom all over Osan. That's pretty much our main goal.
And as if flooding Osan with motorized freedom wasn't enough public service, they're also actively engaged in the community with parades and volunteer work.
A few of the parades we get the, oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So it's funny. It's funny, but at the same time, it's something cool to do, especially Korea, people away from their families, friends. It's just something fun to do.
So you may be wondering, how do you get into the Kings of Cass?
I can't talk about that.
Fair enough, but what the Kings of Cass will tell you is to count on even more community involvement in the future and a swift spike in your sense of patriotism every time you see them ride by. Reporting from Osan Air Base, Senior Airman Adam Harder, AFN Kunsan, Korea.
The Kings of Cass are the oldest of 3 scooter gangs residing in Osan Air Base. Some movie stars get a facelift every 10 years in order to look younger. But imagine getting a facelift in order to perform better. Army Sergeant Lauren Massey takes us to Kunsan to witness the transformation.
The Kunsan flight line generates countless sorties all year round, but that's not what this story is about. The 8th Civil Engineer Squadron and the 8th OSS Airfield Management shut down the runway mid-September for a major reconstruction overhaul. Once closed, the civil engineers, or dirt boys, along with their Korean counterparts, have 6 weeks to complete the job.
We had a whole lot of different missions as far as the closure goes, for everything from spalls to full slab repairs, and now we're finishing up with our asphalt.
The dirt boys worked long hours and many weekends to meet the October 31st deadline.
Overall, there was over 300 slabs. We didn't quite do that much. It was a combination of ourselves and the contractors. We did close to, 50-some spalls.
The large-scale operation is an opportunity to expand the dirt boys' skills.
This is a lot more than most of our guys have ever done. So it's going to be an experience today for everyone to get in there and see it done on this big of a scale and with this kind of equipment. A lot of guys haven't used a paver or have used different kinds of pavers. And I think it's going to be the first time for all of us on this particular style of paver.
With the final construction piece complete, the Wolfpack conducts a foreign object debris walk, or FOD walk, keeping with tradition. The Wolfpack makes sure the runway is ready for the F-16s to return to Kunsan. Army Sergeant Lauren Massey, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Kunsan Air Base is expected to get another facelift done in 10 years, and the Dirt Boys will be there for the procedure. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, November 13th. To see these stories and others, go to the AFN Pacific website or view them through the AFN Pacific app. From all of us here at AFN, enjoy your evening.
Remember, while in Korea, children 10 years old and older, in order to enter the PX and commissary, must have a ration control card. Additionally, any dependents you may have visit should as well.